Hi there, welcome back to the VDC space. So today we're going to be modeling different types of bridge piers using Revit. So we're going to use the metric generic model adaptive for this family. We're going to create four different types of them, and then we're going to nest them and then create type parameters and also visibility parameters so that you can switch on and off and decide which ones you want to use on your project. So we're going to go with a new family, metric generic model adaptive and open. So we're going to start with the first type. So for the first one, we're going to go to front elevation. So on your front elevation, we're going to establish our height only. So you're going to go to reference plane, place a random horizontal reference plane like this. And then I think the height, we can make it 10,000. So it's going to be 10,000 millimeters. And then we're going to start at the reference level at the floor plan. So on the floor plan, we're going to start with a circle. So we're going to place one on each side. So our radius for each circle, I think we can make it 800. And then let's just place two reference planes on each side so that we can have references. And we're going to offset this one by, let's make it 7.5. And also this side, we're going to make it 7.5. Perfect. So we're going to move this circle and just place it right in the middle. And then we're going to copy it to the other side. And this is what we have. So if you go to the 3D view, we're going to select one circle, create form, and then we're going to drag it towards the top and until it reaches the top reference plane and then lock it. And then create a form for this one, drag it towards the top until it meets the reference plane and then lock it. So if you go to the front elevation, this is basically what we have. So I'm just going to increase the height of this. Since we've locked our forms against our reference planes, when we change the height of this or the dimension of this, the form will move along with the reference plane. So I'm going to set it to, let's set it to 14,000 millimeters, 14 meters. And then I'm going to model out my pier head. So for my pier head, I'm going to select my line, set my reference plane to reference plane, center, front or back, and press OK. And then I'm going to start from this point, take it to actually, I'm going to start from this point. And then diagonally, I'm going to go up by 3,000 millimeters, take it to the top by 1,500, and then bring it towards the middle reference plane like this. And then I'm going to select my line again. And then from this point, I'm going to take it to the right by 1.6, and then diagonally by, uh, let's make it let's make it 2000 millimeters. And then I'm going to take it to the middle reference plane. I'm going to select these lines and say mirror pick axis, mirror them towards the other side. And then I'm going to select this, go to the 3D view, and then you're going to select this, and then you're going to create your form. And now your form is going to be created. So I'm going to go to the left elevation. So on my left elevation, actually, let's just select this face, go to the left elevation, and then you're going to drag this towards this point. So I'm going to offset it by 1000 millimeters this side. And then if I go to the 3D view, select the back face, go to the left elevation, drag it towards this side, and then the entire width of this, I'm going to make it 2000 millimeters. So if I go to the 3D view, this is basically how it looks. This is perfect. Now, obviously, you're going to select all these forms, go to material, and then you're going to make it concrete. So you're gonna say concrete cast in situ. So you're gonna go with cast in place gray, load it in, apply, and say okay. So you change this to fine and this to realistic. This is basically how it looks. So for this moment, we are not going to apply dimensions or parameters towards the geometry per se. The only parameters we're going to concentrate on are the types and also the visibility parameters because we are creating different types of bridge piers. So now I'm going to save this, go to new family. Actually, save. And then I'm gonna go to Bridge Piers, where my Bridge Pier types. So I'm gonna save this one, Pier 1, type 1 Pier, and say save. And then I'm gonna close it down. I'm gonna open up a new family, again, metric, generic, model, adaptive, open. And then I'm gonna create the second type. Go to the front elevation, and then I'm gonna go to with the reference plane, and so all of the pier shafts are gonna have the same height. So I'm gonna make it. Is it 15,000? Yeah, 15. I'm gonna make it 15,000. It's fine. And then go to the reference level. Select my circle, place it right on the middle insertion point. And in this instance, I'm gonna make the radius 800. So the entire thing is gonna be 1006. I'm gonna select it, go to the 3D view, create form, and then I'm gonna drag this form towards the top reference plane and then lock it. And then I'm gonna go to the front elevation. So on the front elevation, I'm gonna model my pier head. Select my line, set my reference plane to reference plane center, front or back, and press OK. I'm gonna select my line, start from this point, and then I'm gonna take it to the left by, let's say, 1,200. And then I'm gonna take it diagonally at, let's say, 165 degrees at 6,000 millimeters, and then up by 1,000 millimeters, and then take it to the right until I meet the middle reference plane. I'm gonna select these lines, mirror pick axis, mirror them towards the other side. Open up the 3D view, select this line, create form, and then as you can see, this face is selected. Now you can open up the left elevation, and then you can drag this towards the left, and so you can adjust the offset, so you can make the offset 1000 millimeters. Okay, actually you can make it, let's make it 800 in this instance. And then you're gonna go to the 3D view, select the back face, left elevation, drag this towards the other side. So the total is gonna be 1,600 millimeters. So if you open up the 3D view, this is essentially what we have. Perfect. Now you're gonna select all these forms and then go to material, type in concrete, and then you're gonna go down and then make it or make it concrete cast in situ, apply, and then OK. So if you change this to fine, this to realistic, this is essentially how it looks. This is perfect. Now we're gonna save this one. So this one is the second type that we have. So I'm gonna name this one type 2 Pier and then save it. So after this, I'm gonna close it down. We're gonna model our third pier. Go to metric generic model adaptive, open, and then we're gonna model our third one. So for our third one, same methodology. Go to the front elevation, set up my reference plane. So the entire height of the shaft is gonna be 15,000 millimeters, and then you're gonna go to the reference level. So on the reference level, you're gonna place your rectangle like this and then adjust your offset. So this side, I think I'm gonna make it, let's make it 2005. So the entire width is gonna be 5,000. And this side also, we're gonna make it 2005. And then the entire length is gonna be 5,000 millimeters. And then one thing we're gonna add in this is the chamfers. So we're gonna add a chamfer of 200 millimeters. So diagonal chamfers. So we're gonna say trim and extend, trim and extend. Select tab, select this line only, and then you're gonna mirror them towards the other side. Now you can just trim and extend, extend, trim and extend, trim and extend, trim and extend, trim and extend. And now you're gonna select this, go to the 3D view, create form, and then you're gonna drag it towards the top and then lock it. And this is what we have. So if you go to the 3D view, to the front elevation, this is what we have. Now for this one, I'm going to name this one A, or actually, let's just name it top, press enter, and then go to the reference level again. So on your reference level, I'm going to select pick lines and then set my reference to reference plane top, and then I'm just going to pick these lines. Perfect. And now I'm going to go to the front elevation again, select this reference plane. I'm going to copy another one to the top. So this one, I'm going to make it, let's make it 2000 millimeters. And then another one is going to be 1000 millimeters. So this one is going to be, this one is going to be A, and then this one is going to be B. Go to the reference level, and then I'm going to say, I'm going to select pick lines, set my reference to reference plane A, set my offset to 500. Actually, let's set it to 1000. And then I'm going to offset these lines by 1000. So if I go to the 3D view, this is what we have. So I'm going to select the first profile we generated, and then this one, and then I'm going to create my form. After I create this form, I'm going to select my pick lines again. Remember our reference plane, we can set it now. We're going to set it to A, and then we're going to pick these lines. And then we're going to go to the reference level. We're going to say pick lines again, set our reference to 500, offset to 500, and then our reference plane to reference plane B. And then we're going to select these lines. Actually, let's set it to 250. And then we're going to offset on the interior of this shape. So if I go to the 3D view, this is how it looks. So I think, no, actually remove this. We have to see, move this. We have to offset this line. I actually offset this one. So we're going to offset it on the 3D view. Select pick lines, set your offset to 250, and then you're going to offset these lines using these lines as your reference. So this, it's gonna be at reference plane B. Perfect. Now you're gonna select this profile at reference plane A, and then this one on reference B, and then you're gonna connect your form. So this is another pier that you have. So you're gonna select these three forms, and or actually let's just join this one. So you're gonna say join. I'm gonna join this one, make it a single pier cap, and then our pier shaft, and then go to our material. So you're gonna say concrete, scroll down, and then for this one, I'm gonna make it custom place gray, load it in, apply, and then okay. So if you change this to fine, and then this to realistic, this is essentially how it looks. Now you're gonna save this one. So this is our third one. So you're gonna go to family. Then this is type 3 Pier. So you're gonna save this. Perfect. Now you're gonna close it down. Now for our final pier, bridge pier, you're gonna go to new again, metric generic model adaptive, open. So for this one, you're gonna go to front elevation, and then you're gonna go with reference plane, place another reference plane, and then this one you're gonna set it to 15,000, and then you're gonna copy another one to down by, let's say, 500, another one by 500, and then another one by 500. So it's gonna be four of them. So this one I'm gonna name it A, and then this one B, and this one C, and this one D. So on your reference level, you're gonna place one reference plane on each side, and then this one you're gonna offset it by, let's say, 10,000 millimeters. And then also this one, you're going to offset it by 10,000 millimeters. And then you're going to place a random rectangle like this, and then offset it from this side by 1,000 millimeters. And then all in all is going to be 2,000 millimeters. Perfect. And now you're going to select your start and radius arc, place it like this, and also another one this side. And then you're gonna remove this line and also this one. And now you're gonna subdivide this. So I'm gonna start with this one. This one I'm gonna offset by 2,500. So all in all is gonna be 5,000 millimeters. So another one, so they're gonna be, if I go to the front elevation, so it's gonna be 1, 2, and then 3. Okay. So another one, I'm gonna place another offset, another line like this. And then I'm gonna offset it from this reference plane by, let's say, 3,000 millimeters. Then I'm gonna copy this one to the other side, mirror pick axis, and then I'm gonna type in SL for slice, and then I'm gonna slice these just to create different blocks. So I'm gonna start with this rectangle. I'm gonna say create form, drag this form towards the last reference plane at the top, and then lock it. And then for this one, as you can see, we are missing another line on this side to create our form. So I'm going to place another line this side like this. And then now we have a rectangle, our profile. Now we can create a form and then drag it towards the second highest reference plane and then lock it. And now we are left with the last one. So I'm going to place another line on this side, select the shape, create form, and then I'm going to drag it towards the second last reference plane and then lock it like this. So we're going to do the same logic this side. So we're going to place another line like this, select this rectangle, create form, and then drag it towards the second reference plane from the top. Lock it, and then select another line, place it like this, select this profile, create form, and then drag this towards the top on the third highest reference plane, and then lock it like this. So this is essentially what we have. Now for this one, I'll actually join this. So I'm gonna go to join these forms, just to make it more clean. And this is what we have. Now you're gonna have your bearings right on top, and then your girders are gonna be set at different heights when it comes to placement of this. I actually came across this type of pier when I was doing bridge inspections, so I was fascinated with the geometry and how it laps on each side and how the girders are placed right on top of them. So yeah, so obviously the last step is to apply material. So we're gonna make it a concrete casting situ, load in, apply, okay, changes to fine, and then changes to realistic, and this is what we have. So I'm gonna save this as our last bridge pier. So this one is gonna be type 4, save, and then I'm gonna close it down. Now the final step is for our parameters that we talk about. So I'm gonna say metric generic model adaptive, a new template. So the first of all, let me just go to the first one. So for the first one, I'm just gonna check this shared parameter. Oh, it's already shared, so that's fine. Let me check with other ones. So I'm assuming other ones are also shared. Yeah, all of them are shared at this point. So on the new template, I'm going to go to reference level. I'm going to insert all of, I'm going to start with the first one. So that's the VDC space. And then I'm going to go with Bridge Pier types. So I'm going to start. So we're going to start with the Pier type 1. Open it, go to create component, and then you're going to place it right in the middle like this. Go to the 3D view, and then go to your family type properties. This is going to pop up. You're going to create a new type, family. So it's going to be type 1, and say OK. And then you're going to say new parameter. This is going to pop up. And then you're going to say type 1 Pier. Make it an instance parameter. Discipline common. Data type. You're going to say yes or no. Group it under visibility parameters and say OK. And then you're going to create another one, new type. So it's going to be type 2, type 3, and then type 4. So if you go back to type 2, you're going to say new and say type 2 Pier. Yes or no, data type, group it under visibility, make it an instance and say OK. And then you're going to do the same thing for the rest of them. Type 3 Pier. Yes or no, group it under visibility parameters, OK. This is going to be an instance. So let's just remove this, create another one. Type 3 Pier instance, yes or no, visibility parameters, OK. And then the last one, type 4 Pier instance, yes or no, group it under visibility and say OK. So under the family type, you're going to go to type 1, uncheck 2, 3, and 4 only, and then you're going to be left with only 1. Do the same thing for other ones. Type 2, uncheck 1, 3, and 4. Type 3, uncheck 1, 2, and 4. Type 4, uncheck 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 3, and say OK. So you're going to select this Pier, and then when you go to the left, we have under graphics, we have the visibility graphics and also the visible. So under the visible, we have this parameter association button. You're going to select it, and then you're going to associate this Pier with type 1 Pier and say OK. Perfect. Now you're going to go to reference level and say create component, and then actually you're going to go to insert, load family. You're going to load type 2 now. Create component, and then you're going to place type 2. Go to the 3D view, select type 2, and then associate it with type 2P and say OK. Go to the reference level, insert, load family. You're going to load in type 3 and say create component, place type 3 there. Go to the 3D view, select type 3, associated with type 3P parameter and say OK. Reference level, insert, load family. You're going to load the last one, create component, place it like this, go to the 3D view, select this Pier, and then associate it with the last visibility parameters. This is perfect. Now let me show you how this works. If you open up a new project, let me just save this. So I'm going to save this as a nested Bridge Pier family. So the VDC space nested Bridge Piers. If you want this family, you can get it on my Patreon. Just make sure you subscribe to my Patreon, and then you can just get this. There's also different tiers whereby you can get exclusive tutorials. And for those who have been members, I will add more content to it. Your patience is it's gonna mean a lot. I'm busy juggling stuff on my side, but Yeah. And also, you have an option to join my membership on YouTube. As you can see, I have exclusive tutorials that cover deeper content and also much more interesting projects. So, anyway, nested bridge Piers, you're going to save it. And I'm going to load this into our project. So I'm going to place it like this. Go to open up the 3D view. And then if I select it, go to the right. As you can see, we have type 1 Pier visible. So I'm going to uncheck this and then check type 2. And then it's going to change like that. Uncheck this, make it type 3. And then type 3 is going to change like that. And then I'm going to select this, make it type 4. And then it's going to change like this. So now, for instance, let me just place multiples of them. So let's say you have a bridge. Just make things. So I'm gonna place a random grid like this, another one like this, and then pick lines, and then I'm gonna offset this by, let's make it 30,000. And then I'm gonna go to component and then place them like place them where the grids intersect. So if I go to the 3D view, let's say you have a bridge like this, then there are changes. So your BIM manager or whatever comes to you, your supervisor, and say there will be changes during the conceptual design. Then you can manage to select all of these and then make it type 2, and then they're gonna change like this. Or you can just say select all visible in view and then make it type 3, and then they're going to change like this. And then he says there's too much concrete that has to be casted when using these types. So you can just select this visible in view and then change it back to type 2 PS. Or if you want to use a much more convenient pier in terms of how you can place the girders. You can change it to type 4 and then it will change like this. So yeah, that's it. I fairly enjoyed this tutorial. If you heard a sound, that's the sound of my washing machine. I'm sorry about that, but I hope you heard my voice. I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial, and make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and tell your friends and colleagues about this channel. I'm trying to grow it as much as I can. In the meantime, I'm studying Python on my own so that I can cook up more tutorials when it comes to computational design. So make sure you tune in, and I will see you guys on the next tutorial. Peace.